Yeah, sabotage the Q tube. That's your real mission, isn't it?
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Don't tell the Q tube.
All right, we're live now, so they already know. Everyone knows.
Oh,
Everyone knows why you're here, Will, to sabotage the Q tube.
never.
Um, yeah, all right. I'll just wait. Can somebody confirm that they can? Yeah, sabotage the Q tube. Can somebody confirm that they can hear us?
We are
And that there's
live.
no echo and weird stuff like that. So hello from me. Can you guys each say hello so we can get an audio check?
Hello.
Hello.
Max?
Hello? Sorry, my internet just jumped there.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
back now. Sorry.
Can everyone confirm that they can hear us? Or
I can
somebody
confirm.
confirm? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Sound is fine. Okay, there's probably an echo actually from my mic. When I'll have to remember to mute myself when you guys are talking. Right, can we just do another audio check before we start? Which is that I want to share because we're going to play some of your rescores. So I'll do a proper introduction in a second, but I just want to do an audio check. Can I play? I'm going to try and play one of the YouTube videos, or just a random YouTube video. And can someone in the chat tell me if the sound is okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you see your YouTube home
Now I know
screen?
you're on YouTube Premium.
Yeah. Paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
Spain
hear
v
it.
Italy.
Are we going to score the football?
Are you sharing with audio? Is the box ticked when you share screen on Zoom? Yeah, so when you press share screen, it should say share with audio. So if you unshare and reshare, it comes up with like share with audio. Really? It should be a little box in the corner. No. Right.
Maybe retry, like close the YouTube. It might have
Do you want me to try and share my screen if you allow sharing? Yeah, there's one that says share sound. It's under options on the right when you click share screen. That's what I have at least. and you can just, it should
Well,
pop
hang
up
on.
when
Let's do it step by step. Let me try to get back onto the stream.
Oh, there's you can hear the noise on YouTube, but it's not. But it's got like an echo, I think.
Yeah, that's okay. I know why that is. I need to mute my microphone. So now we've got audio from Zoom. So yeah, Archie, do you want to try sharing?
Yeah. Sharing the pieces. Okay, cool. Okay, let me share my screen. Whoops, maybe not. There we go.
It's called theqtube.com.
Cool. Yeah, it works on YouTube.
And everybody can hear.
And everyone can hear, I think.
Okay, that's great.
And they're not hearing it through your microphone.
I'm Mariana.
Hello, Mariana.
Hi, Hi, Mariana. 1 second. We're just trying to fix some technical thing.
Technical difficulties.
So, do you think that they can hear it like properly, or are they just hearing it through your mic?
I've got it up on another screen. And I can hear that they can hear.
All right, cool.
But
Okay.
we will all have
Cool.
to mute ourselves while the clips are playing.
Yeah, and I'll have to mute while you guys are talking as well. So it's all good fun. Right, let's start. So, hi everyone. Sorry about that small problem. I'm Brian Waters from the QTube. We're going to try and crack on and make up for that little bit of lost time. Thank you for tuning in. We've got quite a few people tuned in, so that's really great. I can see that you're excited about what we're going to share today, and we're excited to share it with you. So let me introduce and welcome everyone else on the call. It's great to see everyone here. We've got the team. Will, some people will have met you already, but you want to just quickly introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I am Will, long-time collaborator with Archie. Actually, me and Archie worked together on some of my first short films, and that's how I came to know the QTube after Archie met Brian and started working closely with the QTube. I'm a writer, director, and producer. I'm doing a feature-length documentary in Brazil, which is what led me to Max, who is also doing a documentary in Brazil, Fortuna, which is partly why we're here today. So yeah, I'll hand over to you, Max.
Hi there. Yep. Sorry, that's all right.
Sorry, let me just add to that, which is relevant for our community, which is that Will has worked with Archie. So Archie again is the meeting point here of people, but also you've done work with Colette as well. That's right, isn't it, Will?
Yes, Colette and Tevin, which you guys did activities of daily living with, which was the last and first actually film that the QTube had produced.
So you know, there's an existing connection and relationship there. So you know, which is great because it's kind of an evolving thing about the QTube production. So I'm really excited about that. So sorry, Max, go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Max, director of Fortuna. As you kind of I'm new to QTube, but it's a real privilege to be part of this community and sharing this project with you all. We're really excited to see it come together and have your participation. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do you want to? Okay, let's carry on. I was going to say, do you want to say a bit more about the time is gonna fly by? Everyone knows Archie, I'm sure. So excitingly, we have a new member of the team here, Mariana. So hi. So I mean, there's lots I want to say, but maybe Mariana, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. So hi everyone. I had this opportunity to connect with Brian. I already knew the Q2, this amazing community, and I participated also. Like I was doing music for the Daily Lives, the film last year, and this year 2024. Brian contacted me because I composed the Wing It, the score for the short film that was used in the Score Relief 2024. And yeah, I'm a composer. I'm Brazilian and Italian. I'm living in LA. And we had this conversation about this amazing project I'm very excited to be part of.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mariana. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the live stream. We're going to keep going for like another 40 minutes or something like that. So we want to split this live stream into two parts. The first part, we're going to actually listen back to some of your rescores of the trailer. And thank you to everyone who participated in that. I hope you enjoyed the trailer that was created by Max predominantly, I believe.
Yes, but it was only possible with the help of all of you guys and Archie as well. Big up for the music. So yeah,
Yeah, Archie,
team.
That composition was great, man. I really enjoyed it. When I first heard it, the first go, I was just like, nailed it.
I'm
Well
glad.
done,
Cheers. Yeah. Well, I was lucky to have a good brief,
Yeah, we'll get into the Fortuna brief later of what the sound we want to build for that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole topic of briefing is something that all of us have spent a bit of time talking about for Fortuna. So we'll be sharing some of that with the guys, with the viewers later on. We want to just play randomly some of your rescores. Of course, we had the feedback session with Carlos Rafael Rivera a few days ago, and that was fantastic. We're not claiming to be offering his kind of insight. It's a different perspective. We're looking at it more from the filmmaker's perspective, which I think is extremely important, of course, for those of you that are developing yourselves as composers. And so, yeah, we're really interested to just share some randomly and have a little discussion around them. And maybe during the course of that discussion, perhaps we'll be revealing a little bit more about how we see the soundscape really for the project. It'll just come out naturally, I think, in the conversation. So should we carry on with that, guys? Is everyone happy to proceed? So Archie, you're the DJ here. Carry on.
I've got the list up. It would help if I unmuted myself. Yeah. Shall I pick them at random or will I just go through the list? Okay, let's go for this one here. Okay, this one is by Vince Saint. Let me share my screen. Cool. Excellent. And you guys can see that full screen, can you? Excellent. All right. Everyone mute yourselves and let's have a listen.
Para mim, a coisa mais importante na minha vida é ter momentos de felicidade. Eu não tento ficar pensando demais nesse momento. Eu tento esvaziar minha mente, pensar em coisas boas, relaxantes, para não ficar muito tempo sob pressão. A morte, ela tá próxima. Ela tá presente, pode estar presente. Se largar um vício é difícil. Quando eu tomei o tiro lá numa comunidade aqui no Rio de Janeiro, eu lembro que Eu senti, né, que eu tinha sido baleado, eu sabia que era um tiro, eu não sabia onde tinha entrado o tiro. Deitei no chão e nesse momento eu pensei, bom, vou morrer. Quem nunca fez não consegue entender e quem já fez não consegue explicar. Eu acho que meus planos para os próximos anos é me manter vivo.
Cool.
I love that ending.
Yeah, that was great.
Very cool. Very cool.
You know, the opening was dark and it almost gave me like Ennio Morricone Western vibes for like the first few seconds. It just took me there. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first sort of half were very close to what you guys wanted from me, I think. Like
Mhm.
just these sort of like sort of synthy sounds just dropping in and out basically. But then it just went in a completely different direction, which was cool.
Yeah, the ending took me by surprise. But I thought
Yeah.
it was light. I like the way it contrasted what was happening in the sense that like this guy's doing something that, you know, he could die essentially, and you just got this really nice sort of easygoing beat, and it was, yeah, I thought it was really funny.
I mean, it is a strange thing that he's doing, and you know, we decided it had to feel a certain way, but it's not at all how it needs to be. And I think it was really interesting to see someone's take of that. Yeah, it worked. I kind of liked it at the end, and you know, I think it fit. The video has a kind of break point in the middle, before that scene where it starts to build up. I know Archie, we kind of discussed how we were going to do this, and I guess it sort of transitioned slightly differently in this one, and yeah, it gave a very different feel, but certainly. Yeah, it certainly worked. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I feel like there might have been moments where it should have been left to the sound design, like particularly when the bullet montage was, you know, the sort of CG part was happening. It felt a bit convoluted, but I guess there was something that was transitioning. Mariana?
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said, and I agree with that. And maybe I think we could start like this fusion with like the Brazilian rhythm, like Brazilian vibes a little bit earlier. But I
agree.
really like the idea, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, one of the briefs for Archie was to try and create score that really well use the soundscape and the sound design to enhance and almost become part of the score, using the bits of like the sounds of Brazil, the traffic, the energy of Rio, and just almost montage that into its own kind of note, and build attention with that. So it is hard to add on top of it. It's already got quite a lot going on. Especially in the trailer, we sort of enhanced it with sort of whooshes and things during the cuts. So yeah, it can get quite busy, I think, you know, audibly. But I think the fusion between the two is really interesting to see how you can make that work. And certainly bringing in the notes of Brazil and the city and everything there in this one was really cool.
Yeah, great. I mean, I think that I can already see that, like, for those composers that are listening to this, who are being really attentive, it's a really good opportunity for them to get insight from, especially from Max, as to the vision that he's got, you know, for the soundscape here. And we'll talk explicitly about that, but you also have to be quite clever in listening to the director, I think, and trying to understand his vision of the project. This is obviously beyond Fortuna, you know, just in general. I think there's a real art, isn't there, to listening to the director and understanding how they actually see the project. And I mean, and I think it's worth emphasizing to the community that, like, when we released this trailer for people to rescore, it wasn't because we were seeing whether you could do like a great job from the perspective of like our project. We were simply giving you a gift, you know, a trailer that you could play with and have fun with. And as a way also, of course, of shining light on the Kickstarter. So don't be too upset about us not issuing a brief, because we weren't looking to necessarily evaluate what you were doing or to match it to our vision. We were just basically giving something to the community and yeah, trying to shine a light on that Kickstarter, really. But we will be working towards the brief for sure. So great.
Should we do
Archie,
another one?
do you want to queue up another one?
Sorry, yeah, I've got one ready.
Who is it? Who is it?
It is by someone called Crystal Despery. I hope I pronounced that right. Cool. Let's have a listen.
Para mim, a coisa mais importante na minha vida é ter momentos de felicidade. Eu não tento ficar pensando demais nesse momento. Eu tento esvaziar minha mente, pensar em coisas boas, relaxantes, para não ficar muito tempo sob pressão. A morte, ela tá próxima, né? Ela tá presente, pode estar presente. Você largar um vício é difícil. Quando eu tomei o tiro lá numa comunidade aqui no Rio de Janeiro, eu lembro que eu senti, né, que eu tinha sido baleado, sabia que era um tiro, eu não sabia onde tinha entrado o tiro. Deitei no chão e nesse momento eu pensei, bom, vou morrer. Quem nunca fez não consegue entender e quem já fez não consegue explicar. Eu acho que meus planos para os próximos anos é me manter vivo.
Very nice.
Who wants to go first?
Maybe
I always want to go first.
Go on, Will.
No, but someone else go first this time, because
Max.
I'll do it every time if you let me.
I'm not gonna go first. I wanna see what you guys
Mariana,
say.
do you want to go first? Seeing as you went last time.
Okay. I thought it was a very good point of view. Especially when we see like the price, Cristo Redentor. Like that hit point with the fire was really nice. But I was expecting like at some point some beats or something, like just to change the mood. But I think the piece was really great. And also, again, the sound design, when we have like the bullet, I think for the composer, it's important to find the balance between like where we have music, where we have silence, and give this space for the sound, you know. So yeah, I think sometimes the composer could give some space for sound design, and because we have this beautiful melody, but yeah, it's about balance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think also, like, just to add to that, basically, like as a composition itself, it was really beautiful and really nice, and like almost like a kind of Joe Hisaishi thing, like a kind of Studio Ghibli kind of rich harmonically, and really, really nice sort of piano strings. But really, like the composition is not the main thing that we're basically focusing on for this, really. So just to sit back a little bit and like even just bringing it back by like 5 to 10 dB would really help to sort of layer it nicely with the sound design that's going on. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. It's super interesting to get everyone's different takes on one piece of work and how they want to, take us through it. I think this certainly had a very lovely melody, and excuse me for my poor terminology as well. But had a really lovely sort of sound to it throughout the whole thing, and it took us through quite nicely. Maybe the connection with the sound design itself was it was a bit too far apart in certain places, especially with the bullet scene. I know that's really hard to tackle, but the intro and the outro felt really, really nice. And I think it brought us with the character. But yeah, I think maybe it was because it was quite melodic, and some of the scenes are quite hard cutting and there's montage together, and there are like quite significant tonal changes visually in the trailer. I think it worked well in some bits and it contrasted other bits nicely too, but then maybe there was some space for a bit of transition as we went through these changes visually to go with the track, rather than just being one consistent sort of piece throughout, I think. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's funny because you have like a preconception of like what you want to hear, and then you hear the complete opposite, and you're like, the first instinct is like you're a bit shocked, and you're like, no. But then as you allow it to happen, it really did things, and it hit the beats like when Mariana said when you saw Christ, like it really hit the beat perfectly there. And it was quite operatic and building to this crescendo. But yeah, I think off the back of what everyone else has said, I think there's definitely points within this trailer that allow for a change of tone and yeah, I guess bringing something new and exciting, because it's that, like Archie said, Studio Ghibli, like it felt like a walk in a meadow kind of thing, across some valleys. It was lovely, and it made me see the trailer in a new light. But yeah, I think perhaps like a bit more, given the nature of what the story is about, a bit more drama and suspense might have been nice.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. This is really interesting because I think you can see how interesting it is to try and get the perspective from people who have got different roles really in the project, and that's cool. I think for the sake of time, we probably are maybe only going to listen to one more, right? And then we're going to talk about the sort of sound.
I reckon we could get two more in.
Two more? All right.
Yeah.
I think so for sure.
Two more.
All
right.
And if we got a minute, if we have a minute at the end, maybe like a lucky dip, like a last one,
A bonus one, yeah.
I'm enjoying this. I'm really
Will just
enjoying
loves
this.
music.
I do.
Well, we can do other live streams. And by the way, I want to tell everyone who's listening that this is really cool. By the way, this is a really cool piece of news actually for the community, which I haven't mentioned, and this is pretty amazing. So there is a really prestigious conservatoire here in the UK, university, called Leeds Conservatoire, based in the city of Leeds, unsurprisingly, in the north of England. And they offer a film music program. And actually, we have a relationship with them as the QTube. And they're going to come on board. Two of the professors from the university are going to come on board, and they're going to do live streams with us on a regular monthly basis. And those live streams are going to be basically this. So we're going to sit down, we're going to be listening to rescores. We'll be telling you in advance like how to prepare for that. And we'll be giving feedback from those guys who are absolute experts. I mean, they've worked in film. I think they're still working in film. They're also professors and course leaders at the university. They're teaching students all the time, every day, who are preparing to work in the industry. And so this is a really great partnership. So the first one of those, we're gonna do a session next Friday, which is gonna be just basically them kind of introducing themselves, and then the following week, which I think is something like the 5th of July, we will be doing the first proper live stream with them where we're reviewing your work. And for that live stream, we're going to do more reviews of these Fortuna rescores. So it's yet the third opportunity to hear different feedback, different reviews on those rescores for Fortuna. All right, I'll stop now. So Archie, do you want to cue one more up?
Yeah, cool. So this next one is really cool. It was actually made using only sort of real recorded instruments rather than libraries and that sort of thing. So I've queued this one up. So let's have a listen. And it is this one. Nope. This one.
Who's it by?
It's by someone called Rafael Muchaca.
Para mim, a coisa mais importante na minha vida é ter momentos de felicidade. Eu não tento ficar pensando demais nesse momento. Eu tento esvaziar minha mente, pensar em coisas boas, relaxantes, para não ficar muito tempo sob pressão. A morte, ela tá próxima, né? Ela tá presente, pode estar presente. Se largar um vício é difícil. Quando eu tomei o tiro lá na comunidade aqui no Rio de Janeiro, eu lembro que eu senti, né, que eu tinha sido baleado, eu sabia que era um tiro, eu não sabia onde tinha entrado o tiro. Deitei no chão e nesse momento eu pensei, bom, vou morrer. Quem nunca fez não consegue entender e quem já fez não consegue explicar. Eu acho que meus planos para os próximos anos é me manter vivo.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. I love it.
Yeah, so cool.
No, that's very cool. Very cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course, initially you're just loving the fact that you've got the real instruments. That immediately engages you, and then the composition itself, of course, I think is quite effective.
Yeah.
Who's gonna start? Because that doesn't count as a start because I don't count. So
That was a start.
like-
Can I ask a question? This is excuse this poor knowledge, but what was the instrument called that's making this sort of? It's like a almost like a fluty kind of sound, but not. Is it a flute?
I'm not sure, but it could be like a pan flute or something, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, I think.
It
Sure.
was. I thought this was. I really like this. Also because when it reminded me of the sound of the wind as you're standing on top of the mountain. The
Yeah.
actual sound of it like passing over stuff and especially when the note kind of goes off like sharp or like a pitch change or something. We really like this, and this is something that Archie and I think we kind of discussed at one point.
Yeah.
Was this imperfection and this kind of breaking of the notes and stuff, just like when we were there and talking to Gabrielle, how the unpredictability and the changes, the constant shifting and moving, it's like you think you're in this sort of harmony and then something happens and it takes you away from that. And this sound really encompassed that quite nicely. And I think it worked really well in this as well. So maybe that's something I can start with.
Yeah, awesome.
It felt very like Mask of Zorro, which I'm always a fan of that soundscape. So yeah, I really enjoy that one. Yeah, again, like scoring over the sound design during the gunshot bit seems to be a theme here, and it was the levels were like way too high. I couldn't hit any sound design, and also dialogue. It was kind of tough to get through. But I guess, you know, the point of this was to listen to the scores, not the sound design. But I guess if people remember to make room for these things, it can only be a good thing.
Yeah,
I also apologize for, sorry. I know that the dialogue and the sound design was that it has a particular sort of structure that works for the score, and to score over that, I know isn't the easiest task, but I think it's, you know, what we've seen so far, everyone's done like a pretty good job. But I can understand maybe that bullet scene in the middle is almost its own thing and it's hard to kind of draw over. But yeah, so I know that that's quite embedded into what was done previously.
Okay. Mariana, do you want to?
Yeah, I would say what I really like from this project is because he explored like different sounds that reminds you in some way like Brazilian music. Like in Brazilian music, we have a lot of guitars. Like if you think like we have the guitar, we have cavaquinho, we have like the guitar with 7 strings, violão de 7 cordas, what it's called. So so we have this guitar sound in mind when you think about music, and we have like, of course, the floats, because when we think about Amazonia and the indigenous people, you think about woodwinds, and then we have the African influence, which is the rhythm and the drums. So I think for maybe the next projects, people, the composer that are scoring the shorts, keep this in mind. I think it would be great to have like this kind of sound. Like,
Brilliant. Thank you, Mariana, and thank you, everybody. So there's some real nuggets there in the middle of all of that as to what we are really kind of thinking in terms of this project as a whole. Not only the trailer, of course, the trailer is really representative or indicative of the direction that the film is going to go in terms of the soundscape, I think. And so let's talk about where the opportunities are for the community and how we're going to approach the music and sound for this film. So maybe I can give a little introduction, because I can kind of lead it from where we are, like from what we did with Activities of Daily Living, and kind of lead into what we're doing, and then you guys can take over and explain it in a little bit more detail. How does that sound? Does that sound okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so with Activities of Daily Living, as most of you will probably know, I'll try to do this quickly, but we did basically a scoring competition where we released a couple of very early edits of a couple of scenes, and we gave people the opportunity to provide kind of rescores of those, and then we had the production team, which was basically the director and Archie, listen to those and kind of select the main composer for the film, and then two composers, one to do the credits and one to do the trailer. And that was great, and we were really happy with the result, and the process was more or less okay. But with this particular film, there are a number of reasons why we've decided to approach it differently. But we're also very keen to have the community involved, and I'm sure that you're keen to be involved as well. And so what we're going to do on this one, and if necessary we can explain the reasons, but hopefully we don't need to, we're going to set up a sound department, and we're going to head that with Archie and Mariana working side by side. And obviously that's great because Archie, as we've mentioned, is kind of the linchpin for everything that happens. And Mariana brings that sensibility of the Brazilian culture and music, and of course her expertise as a composer in her own right, as you will have seen if you've listened to her brilliant score for Wing It. And so we think that's a really great partnership to head up the sound department. And that's going to be probably involved in both the sound editing in general and the music. So that's probably all I need to say by way of an introduction. So I don't know who wants to kind of flesh that out a little bit. Will, do you want to? Because we had a chat, didn't we, the other day with Mariana? Do you want to kind of add a little bit to that?
Sure. Yeah, I think what's important with this particular film is bringing authentic sounds from the Brazilian culture, and just like Mariana said, the Brazilian culture is vast and yeah, a mixture of so many things, so many cultures and musical ideas. But not only that, I think this film and the sound of this film needs to be a mixture of sound design and score. So we're talking, like you're sort of, we want to hear the strings, we want the drama, but we also want to see like, what does it sound like when you infuse that with the sound of rain hitting sheet metal, or like a bullet hitting the floor. I don't know, like all of these things that will really make the film come alive will be part of how we design the sound. So I think a composition that infuses both sound design and score is very important. And yeah, I think that's why we've decided to approach this in this way, because we bring the sort of musical expertise of Archie and Mariana, and we're looking for people that have specific expertise with different instruments and sound design also. So yeah.
So, I mean, we're obviously going to give a lot more detail than we're given today. And we're actually, so the process that we're probably looking at, and please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that what we're looking at doing is something similar in a way to activities of daily living in terms of choosing people, whereby we give people the opportunity to maybe do some demonstrations of scoring some clips that we might provide, which may be from what Max has been filming, or it may be just stuff that we source, which is of a similar vibe. But we're also going to be asking people, like, what is their special area of expertise and what kind of instruments can they play? And try to gather some kind of database, if you like, of that. And then try and gather a really great team and have different people contributing different parts to the soundscape, really, of the film as a whole.
And I think it's also worth mentioning the trailer, theatrical and teaser. We'd like to have someone to do these, to produce the sound for these things under the supervision of Archie and Mariana, but sort of allowing people to create a sound for these parts of the film, which are going to be part of the marketing for the film.
So obviously, I should, hopefully it goes without saying, but just to confirm that anybody who kind of comes through this process will of course be credited on the film for their contribution to the sound. And we're trying to build that into the budget as well, which takes us back to the Kickstarter. So yeah, Mariana, do you want to talk a little bit, maybe, you shared some stuff with us on in our Zoom the other day about Brazilian culture, Brazilian music, and maybe some things that people might not know, because you were saying everybody thinks of like samba, but there's a lot more than that.
Yeah. So actually, Brian, I was thinking here, maybe we can do something more specific, like a video talking about that, to help people to get the vibe. But when William was talking about like the city and the true, we are talking specifically in Rio. Rio de Janeiro is like, when you think about Brazil, you usually think about São Paulo or Rio de Janeiro, but Brazil is big. It's a mix of cultures, but I think they have a very specific thing in the city, that you have the favelas, and you have like this specific sound from favela as well. So some mainly when people think about Rio de Janeiro, they think about bossa nova, they think about samba. And then like there's another side, which is funk, which is not exactly call it funk, we call it Brazilian funk, but if you go research about it, it's basically an African rhythm, call it maculele. which is like very African. And yeah, you play drums. It's very cool. And then you have like a lot of stuff like when you think about favela. So it's just there's so much sound, like instruments and things to explore. So maybe we can think about that in a video or in a stream, like just focusing on that to help people. And let me think.
Yeah, I mean, we can flesh
And
it.
then sorry. When William told us about the sound design, I think also the rap that they have there, they use a lot of like this metal sounds in the music. So maybe we can bring that to our music as well. And yeah, we definitely can think about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like where we're coming from in general with this project, and Max, maybe you want to add to this, but I think that, you know, it's going to be like a 15-minute short, and it's an incredible world, it's an incredible life, it's an incredible journey, and we really feel that the soundscape in general is just really a key part of immersing people in that story. And we want to really curate that and really maximize the effectiveness of that soundscape in working alongside the picture. So that's that's one of the reasons really why we're taking this kind of very curated, very carefully constructed approach.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you guys have said it very well. And even from the beginning, the idea, it was, you know, it was making sounds before it was visual. It's always been very led by the sound design and the score and everything. So going into this project, it was really important that we had, you know, a really solid sound department, and to have the privilege to work with so many people in this, you know, headed by obviously specific individuals, but being able to work with loads of independent musicians to bring sounds to this really helps bring out the vibrancy of Brazil's musical roots. This is just vast. So it's so important that we have this, and it's amazing that we've got access to it. So yeah, it's vital to the film, and I think together we can make a really strong piece and try and get as close to, you know, to the sound as we can really. And yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you know, the ambition really that we have for the film, I think, for everybody involved is to make it really have an impact, and hopefully, you know, again, make it have an impact at some of the festivals that we're looking at. And so it's going to be in everyone's interest that we are talking to in the community to be on board, because we're really hoping that this film gets some attention. And I think it has a chance. You know, the story is so powerful, and I mean, for you to be able to go out there to Brazil and make this, and for Will to have the language and so on, I think we've got Mariana on board. I think we really have some great ingredients to produce something special here.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that we're actually going in less than 3 weeks to Brazil to shoot this film, which is crazy because yeah, there's so much to do in preparation for that. So we're literally going to be like in the field shooting by the 11th of July. When
he says we, he means him.
And Max.
He doesn't mean we, like me and Archie and Mariana, you know. We're just staying at home.
We can raise enough and we can all go.
Yeah.
But another key point, because we are really running out of time. I've got to run, unfortunately. So I hope it's excited everybody. Please head over to the Kickstarter and show your excitement. We will be sharing more detail, but the main thing that I want to add now and just get across to people, and feel free guys to kind of add to this, is that I think with Activities of Daily Living, we went into it as our first film. You know, the filmmakers themselves were less experienced than these guys are, and you know, one of the things that we've learned is the real fairness and importance of giving the composers guidance and a brief as to what we're looking for. And we really intend to do that this time, and to work with you and guide you and give you every chance of meeting our expectations, really. So it works in both ways, of course. So we will be working quite hard together with Max and with Will to put briefs together for the various stages, including the selection stage. So that's an important thing that I wanted to try and get across. Archie, you're just listening and smiling. Is there anything you want to add?
No, not really. I mean, I didn't have anything particularly to add, but yeah.
I want to hear another score.
Yeah. Should we
Just
do one more?
Come on, lucky dip. We said it earlier, we have to. We can't not.
Let's do it. Okay. I actually had Matt Whitby's lined up. He's been in the chat the whole time. So
all right, let's do Matt.
Come on, Matt.
See what you got.
Come on, Matt. Show us what you got. I hope there's some real instruments here.
okay. Cool.
Para mim, a coisa mais importante na minha vida é ter momentos de felicidade. Eu não tento ficar pensando demais nesse momento. Eu tento esvaziar minha mente, pensar em coisas boas, relaxantes, para não ficar muito tempo sob pressão. A morte, ela tá próxima, né? Ela tá presente, pode estar presente. Você largar um vício é difícil. Quando eu tomei o tiro lá numa comunidade aqui no Rio de Janeiro, eu lembro que eu senti, né, que eu tinha sido baleado, sabia que era um tiro, eu não sabia onde tinha entrado o tiro. Deitei no chão e nesse momento eu pensei, bom, vou morrer. Quem nunca fez não consegue entender e quem já fez não consegue explicar. Eu acho que meus planos para os próximos anos é me manter vivo.
Cool.
Well,
Nice. Very cool, Matt. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt was the only one who kind of he left this like long note going through the bullet scene, and I thought that worked so well. It's really ominous, and I actually was expecting like more of a change when we came out of that, like a really dramatic shift, but it worked for me all the way up until the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think you sort of hit on some nice tonal changes as well. It's a nice simple kind of rhythm and sound that you had going through, but it worked, and you left space for the sound design, and you like Will said, you kept that drone right through the end, which is nice. It kept us with it, kept us looking out, and yeah, it was really good. I like that.
Mariana, what did you think?
I think it was beautiful. Yeah, very nostalgic. I think I was at some point I was expecting something more, and I agree with William, when the bullet hit, I was expecting like some changes, but we come back to this nostalgic and emotion, which is great. It's beautiful, but maybe something more with, and something like some changes would be great. And at the end, I felt like the melody finished a little bit too early. There was this suspense, and like the music ended before the jump, so we are waiting for the jump. So maybe it would be great to have like a little bit more of the music like following the jump. at the end. But yeah, it was a great score.
Lovely, thank you. Archie, do you want to add anything to those lovely comments?
Yeah, I just picked up on sort of, I think most people in the beginning sort of started with like a sort of slow, like setting the scene type thing. But actually, I really like the sort of movement of the piano in the beginning, sort of throws you right in it, but in a nice way, not just like it hits you too hard, you know. But yeah.
That's great. I mean, like thinking about the film going forward, like to what extent, like how do you imagine you're going to balance the you know, use of authentic Brazilian music and instruments with perhaps something that's more traditional, more classic, more Western, more cinematic? How do you have any idea like how that would work at this stage? Anybody? Or
I was thinking that like it will just work itself out basically.
I agree.
Yeah, you know.
But
Like
maybe
we'll
I
have
use
a
something.
play. Yeah. And yeah, go on, Marianne. Yeah.
No, I would say like maybe if the person feels like more comfortable using classical instruments, I would say like, oh, I don't know, I prefer to use piano and strings. Maybe we can also divide some cues, you know, when we feel like, oh, it's more emotional and we can go for it. And maybe there's a way to do it like that. Or as you say, Archie, I think things gonna happen.
It's
Yeah,
just gonna sort itself
experimentation.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experimentation, but also I think, you know, with this, no matter what, like you always, it's very uncommon that the first composition is the one, you know, like you always have to sit in the room with the creatives and just like mash it up and maybe even, you know, start a fresh page. Like it's just all mad. Like so much magic happens when everyone comes together as well. And the collaboration of finding what that is. And actually I really enjoy that part. Like I know that, you know, on like 90% of my projects, me and Archie have sat in his studio and just like spent hours just really getting into it and had so much fun doing it because that's where the magic is created, you know, and that's like the part I look forward to is sitting in the studio and learning about how to communicate what I want to Archie. And he's taught me so much about how to speak the language of music, which I'm not great at, but this is why I'm continuing to make more films so I can just get that day or two in the room with him to create magic.
It's cool. It's a really cool process, and it's not something you usually do, really. You kind of just get sent the brief, you do it, and then you send it off. But it's really cool to, yeah, it's been really cool to sit with Will and sort of write the score together rather than just like, you know, the composer writing the score. It sort of just forms itself, you know.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, I just did a short film with someone and they sent the music to a composer, they got it back and I listened to it and I just said that, you know, have you spent any time with this composer or are they just going off what you've kind of told them to do and they're just trying to figure it out alone? And he said that they hadn't actually sat in a room. So I said, look, you need to go back and redraft this whole thing and sit in the room with them and like, you know, really look at the images and let the images inform what the music should be. But yeah, that's my 2 pence.
No, that's really great, guys. So, I mean, you know, you can see the exciting sort of landscape ahead where potentially, you know, we've got half a dozen people from the community contributing as part of the sound department, working from all different places in the world, you know, hopefully some people from Brazil itself. And I think that's a really incredibly exciting prospect and but also challenging, you know, that like you're not going to be able to sit in the same room together necessarily. And that's going to be interesting as well. And I just want to say to you guys actually some feedback from the chat, which is that they're quite interested. They've surprised me, but they're quite interested in knowing a bit more about, like, I don't mean now, by the way, before you start, on another live stream. Maybe we sit down with Max and Will and talk a bit about the logistics and the camera equipment that you're going to be using and some of those aspects of it. They seem to be quite interested in that. So if you have time, that would be really cool.
Yeah, 100%. We can go over all of this. We can talk more about the idea and specific bits about what we're getting and how we're approaching certain topics and the technicality. Will loves equipment, so he can run you through all of these
I
bits
do.
as well. So
I do.
yeah,
Yeah.
we can go over it all. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a great idea.
All right, brilliant. Well, we'll have a chat on WhatsApp and we'll choose a date, and then I'll announce it to the community, and we'll come back and we'll do like a filmmaking little live stream as opposed to a music live stream. So yeah, thanks.
I just wanna shout out to the funniest comment in the chat, and it was from Zemerts, and it says, "I'm a movie nerd. People at work started calling me IMDb." That made me that tickled me, man.
Yeah, we have some great people in the community, and actually, this video has had quite interesting number of people. Quite a number of people interested. I'm so tired. God, I can't make sentences. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to finish this now. I know you want to carry on, Will, but I'm going to finish it.
I do. I can do this all night. But yeah, let's do another one soon. And yeah, we'll be posting updates of production on Kaza Cobra Films on Instagram, and I'm sure we should be setting up a Fortuna Instagram very soon. But yeah, for now, Kaza Cobra Films is where to see updates on that.
Okay, so I'll just finish by going through a couple of reminders. The trailer is still available to rescore. You can still submit it through the form, and we'll be doing a live stream review of those with the two professors from Leeds Conservatoire. The Kickstarter is up and running, and we've actually extended it a little bit, and we'll be giving out more details about what we've been talking about today in the very near future, and actually starting the process of people being able to submit bits and pieces for us to consider for being part of the sound department. Have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
Hey, I think that's everything. I just wanted to add, just wanted to say a massive thank you. It's a real honor to have everyone put their work forward, and thank you so much for all the ones we listened to today, and for everyone that wasn't heard. We are going through them all. We're listening to them anyway. I know Will certainly will be. But yeah, they've all been great. We've listened to a lot so far. So yeah, just want to say a massive thank you, and we're really excited to start working with everyone there and get this project rolling together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Brilliant. And likewise, thank you, Max, and thanks, Will, for sort of, bringing the QTube into this project. I'm really excited about it. And Mariana, thank you for coming and joining us as well. This is lovely. What a great thing. So let's keep moving forward. Have a great weekend, guys. And I'll speak to you before you know it. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Later.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Bye.
Ciao,
Ciao.
ciao, ciao.